Yeah, I just want to get back to a couple of things for those who are watching. Number one, I have something written down here that when you boil eggs, you put salt in it, apparently, so that the egg shell doesn't crack. So wouldn't it be therefore the same thing if a woman is having a child to strengthen the cap skull, or to strengthen that egg, or so that the conglomerates, which I call the cells, are larger because water is retained in salt, and they need salt for the egg. So that would be a good reason that women look heavier when they're 20 pounds overweight rather than a guy, because it's all in size. You know, there's not much there, but it makes size. Anyways, another thing I wanted to do is I was looking at the roulette wheel, I was looking at Jupiter, and I was looking at the mug and dovey. And when I put the mug and dovey together, I come up with a scenario of Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, and all the way out to Texas. Some kind of design. Then the smaller diamond-like design, in which I'll show you how I get it. You see this here? You see the diamond that goes from here to here? You see the diamond? There's two of them. Well, they have that on the roulette board, okay? And it's pointing towards Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Georgia. And there's 4 points, because there's 4 points on the diamond. So what are they actually representing starting in Georgia? Don't forget that the angle is proper, that spirit line will go right into the water, so God would create and connect everywhere. Okay, northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. You know, the northeast, northwest, we have east, west, north, south, and then these are for a better connection, because once you're doing this and like this, you're going to catch everything, unless something is going away from you purposely. But in a natural effect, you should capture everything. So anyways, I have these designs. I don't know what it is about Georgia this week. You know, I haven't used Wyoming, and Wyoming is a strong country. It starts with a W. It's up in the north, and when you're up in the north and you're with a W, you're usually tough. Okay, I'm not talking in the war. I'm just talking tough mentally, not getting into these big disputes and settling them like in the old gun saloon, turn backwards 5 steps and go. Anyways, what I wanted to do next is, what letter would you remove from the alphabet if you had to remove the letter? So I'm sitting there and thinking, what in the world am I going to do answering such a stupid question like that? And I says, okay, I'll remove the letter T. But you know what happens when you remove the letter T? The T has a shape, and it has a number value. Therefore, the number 20 is canceled. So we go from 1 to 19, we skip everything in the 20s and we go to the 30s. So 1 to 19, which means we have a life, no explanation of the life, and then we have the death. But when you include the 20s, it explains the life we're in. It is the life of man. You see, in the roulette wheel, okay, the 20s create a hexagon between, let me see, between 16 and 23, if you can see that. That's our life, okay? Now, if you want to go earlier, okay, what we have is we have 7 to 12 across, 19. 10 to 9 across, 19. We have the same number, equalizing spirit. But that line here is cut off. There is no line. We cannot make that connection. And when you drop here to 16 to 23, okay, we go 22 to 18 is 40. We go 24 to 16 is 40. Whoops! We now have 40 and 40, the walk of Moses. And it falls right into the hexagon that represents life. Now, if you can see a little bit further down, it's broken here. Our life is just ended. Now it's the explanation of life. 23 for creation, 2 and 4 angel, 2 and 5, which is God, which is the 1/4 of the suit of man we are, of the 4 suits that we become. 2 and 6 is the beta of the 2 worlds, man's world and earth. 27. It stops at 28, because during our life we did the 28. It was the 2 worlds of the heavens, of our spirit and our soul. And then we go on to finish down between 32, 34, and 36. From creation, man, and birth. That triangle. And it started with the top triangle of 1, 2, 3, and 5. The one spirit of the two beta female of the three creation that created the spirit angel. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. This roulette wheel, okay, is a lot more than just a roulette wheel. Do you think that this is nothing? I'll show you what I did with this. Yeah, I'm rushing. I'm all over the place. But I'm going to show you something here. I now created a little racetrack, almost like a Monopoly game. And it adds up to 85. What adds up to 85? To come later. But that's what we can do with the roulette wheel. Instead of having this circle, okay, we now remove the letters now with this. Now, what you have to do is ask yourself the question, what's next? Well, I'll show you what's next. We'll do something that's easy, okay? See the red line? Okay, now what we're going to do is make letters. We're going to create letters around this box, okay, and see what numbers connect, creating the letter, now giving the letter a bigger value for a different reason. I call this the box of the matrix 8 and 5. 5 by 8 is 40. The reason of the corners, they count once, they count once, they count once, and then they count again when you go the other way. You have to count the corner for both sides. So you end up with the 40 days of Moses again in this scenario. Okay? Actually, it's 39. The 40th day we actually never do see. I'll explain that another time. Because that 40th day is mixed up with the 41st day, and that's the return to heaven as the spirit angel. So, I'm just trying to show you. So we have that way of showing it. We have the 0, we have the double 0. We're going to also do this in blocks of 9. The block you saw was blocks of 9. 4 by 9 is 36. We're going to do it in blocks of whatever is divisible into 36. And then we're going to create and design. And we're going to come up with answers that either will tell the past, and it's very difficult to say it tells the future unless you want to believe what you can read. So I know it tells the past because I already found the independence of the USA right inside this wheel. 1776. It said the number, it stuck out as a number, and where do I get 1776? Out of a wheel that holds only 666 number values? You got to do cross corners, down and across, so the numbers sometimes count twice, especially the second number. Most of the 4 of the corners added up to 222. The beta life, mother, beta life, having kids, life, 22nd letter in the alphabet, 222, room 222, R18, M13, total 31, creation, television program on TV. There are many more. Excuse me, I'd like to always say that don't forget. It doesn't matter what we say. God has his foot in our foot, his foot, our foot in his mouth, our foot in our mouth. Our foot's always in our mouth. We walk on the heels of our toes. We walk on our soles of our feet. And we put our feet to the ground. We pray with our toes pointed down the ground. Our toes are part of the spirit. When you pray and take off your shoes, those toes are pointed right down to the center core of this earth, no matter where you are in the world. And you're going to reach the heat of the God's heart. And then you'll know more. Because when it starts to reflect on you, and you feel the difference, because there's always a difference. We don't notice it. It takes so long. So, did I go over the T letter, okay? And what I'm going to get from the T is, with the letter A, it shows actually 2 T's. With the letter B, it's actually showing again 2 T's. With the C, it shows an L. With the D, it shows U. Why D-U? Because it's the 4th letter and it's the angel letter. Then we have the H, which shows H because heaven never changes, but it's actually 2 T's together. It's split up by the other T that usually goes down the center. Okay, and then in all actuality, it'll come back to an A again. But it'll be split up. Be man and angel. The heavens, the reason for it. Just add the T to it. Anyways, all the numbers and all the letters through this little game that I play, taking away one letter will tell a whole story. So imagine if you took away 2 letters. What story would it say next? What is actually mixed up with these Sanskrits? How are they actually made? I really never took a good look at one. Unless you can make it square or make it look like anything, it's hard to actually see what's inside of it. So you really have to have a big imagination. So I guess I'll go tonight and pray that tomorrow I have a bigger and better and more sophisticated imagination than I've ever had before. And it doesn't cost nothing but more than a wish and a prayer. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Raphael, MrTacpans's. Story number 7286, In the Day of Man. We're trying to free the myth of Zazaret, the truth of here, earth and man on it. Who knows the truth? The absolute truth and the only truth, for there is one, but he may be silent because he speaks not. The earth does not speak, but through the wind will God howl the ways of the world, and this is himself who gave thee for him. But for now, let us start on world number 3, the correction center of the earth we are on, the jail of the monopoly. We are not just visiting jail, we are in it. Can we make it better for ourselves? Will others make it worse? Can we stop it? Even if we can't till death do us part, the good Lord will come here. And before the death does do a part, he will show who is king. He has no choice. Although he'd rather not, he has no choice. Like I said before, this is only a story coming out of differences I see in the world, in a game, in a card, in a picture, in a name. You give me all these little things to play with, I'll make you a story. Is there any truth? What your mind believes. The time, the severe times in the story is now. Will my story reflect the story of the world? Is there going to be what I call it the innuendos, okay? Because in one of those windows lies the truth. Be careful of your neighbor, and I'm not speaking of the direct neighbor, but he who has come, who should not be, he should not be. Do you follow? If I speak a little bit in code, then everything is going to be full calm. They don't like writers like me. Why am I writing it through the videos? Well, I rewrite it and see what I have to take out. Just the way God did it. He ran the videos. We're in them. He has to see who he takes out, which words he takes out. Word meaning person. Impersonation. Impersonator. Chapter 7286. Nebula 5281, carrying over from 3003 years ago, almost 101 Dalmatians in Trinity. 3003. 3 by 3 is 9, and everything is fine. Gotta go.